your contention is that the pan-Islamic movement in India and in the Indian subcontinent has gone back a long way, and you made that very clear. So my question actually is to do with when we know that it goes back a long way and that it didn't suddenly, this need for a Muslim state didn't arise suddenly during the time of the partition, but this notion of a very strong Ganga Jamuni Tehzeeb or the syncretic culture that everybody talks about, where does it even come from? I mean, what are the seeds of that, one? And two, tag question, impartially, do you think that that even exists in some segments of the society? Would you concede to that?
There was perhaps a very small sliver of truth to that. Okay. So let's go backwards. I'll answer the second question first, and then I'll connect it to the first one.
Yes.
Yes, it existed. But it's not because of the malleability of Islam, but it's because of the inability of the Hindu convert to let go of his cultural identity, either in the form of resistance or out of a sense of nostalgia or out of the sheer pain of having to let go of it. Okay, which obviously survived a few generations until they were forced to give up everything.
Correct.
So whenever they speak of, let's say, Islamic Reformation, it's directed at the new convert to increase the amount of, let's say the distance between him and his past. Okay, because you see, if you understand the distinction between the Ashrafs, the Ajlafs, and the Arsals, then Ashrafs are the so-called pure breed Arab Muslims. Okay, everybody else is a convert, but of the second order and the third order. Okay, depending on who they get married to. Okay, now or who they impose themselves on. Now, therefore, the Reformation translates to Ashrafization of the rest of the community from the perspective of cultural and religious identity, but they will constantly be kept at that particular level, which is called Sayyidism in the language of the Muslims and their scholarship, which is to say, they constantly accuse the Hindus of Brahminism when in fact they practice what is known as Ashrafism and Sayyidism. Okay,
Correct.
and it is very, very ethno-religious in nature, where there are clear racial divides and which feed into the religious divide, which is to say, you may have entered my camp, but never forget your racial origins. Okay, and therefore you will be a Muslim, but you will be an Ajlaf Muslim or an Arzal Muslim, but never an Ashraf Muslim.
Ashraf Muslim.
This distinction exists. Now, therefore, the Ganga Jamuni Tehzeeb, which Islam claims for itself as its contribution, is not your contribution. It is the residual Hindu identity of the convert Hindu.
Wow.
Okay. That is one. Now, this is subsequently rolled and snowballed, and it's created in the form of an avalanche by the Islamist scholars and Marxist scholars after 1947, who picked that up and then put it in the let's say they put it to the account or to the credit of Islam. Islam did this because once it came here, it chose to respect the local identity. Therefore, the local languages are respected. But the only instance is that the local language shall be denuded of its Sanskrit identity. Whether it's Bengali or any other language, it needs to be denuded. And once they started the fight for Urdu, they were very clear, I'm sorry, Urdu is the only acceptable language and nothing else.
Correct.
Okay?
Correct.
So the trope that is presented as the syncretic culture, Ganga Jamuni Tehzeeb, and this and that and all that is a post-1947 creation, which is to say it takes a particular seed that existed, which could not have been given to the benefit of Islam, but gives it to the benefit of Islam. And the text of Bollywood, and there is this fantastic organization that Sandeep Balakrishna constantly writes about, the I think the theatre organization, IPTA. Okay.
Yes. Theatre. Yes, IPTA.
So you had, let's say, Shabana Azmi's father, Kaifi Azmi, all these people.
Yes. I'm forgetting the name. The Muslim gentleman, I'm forgetting his name. Very famous in the theatre circle. 2-3 individuals who were responsible.
All these people were participants, and including Parikshit Sahni's father, Balraj Sahni.
Balraj, yes.
So all these people were participants to it. So the Hindu guy would enter there as the secular Marxist, not as the Hindu Marxist. The Muslim guy enters there as the Marxist Muslim.
Correct.
Okay. So the Hindu is the only one who's comfortably giving up his identity, even he doesn't know how to blend it with Marxism. Whereas these guys say everything is possible and everything can be mixed, whether it's Islam with whatever it is, we'll do that. And they push that agenda over and over again. And I believe that there is material that Javed Akhtar's predecessor, including Javed Akhtar, or let's say his ancestors, were participants to this movement.
Correct,
Okay.
correct.
I think Janisar Akhtar happens to be the name of one of his ancestors. All of these people.
I think Sanjay Dikshit ji has often spoken
Correct.
about Javed Akhtar's antecedents,
Correct.
and
Because
has
when Shaban
documented.
Azmi effectively presents Javed Akhtar as the first generation person who made it big in Bollywood without any kind of support, sleeping on
No,
benches and parks
that's
and all
not.
that, that's an
Yes,
absolute humbug. The same
totally.
nonsense is, by the way, peddled about Shah Rukh Khan. That's not the case. Shah
Hmm.
Rukh Khan's mother,
Hmm.
I think her name
Hails from
was Ragam
Hyderabad.
Shafi
She's
or something.
also Hyderabad family in
Yeah,
Hyderabad,
yeah, yeah.
which is very,
She was a judge in Delhi.
yes.
Okay, and she was equally a participant to the sterilization drive of Sanjay Gandhi. So there are pictures of her where
Oh,
she has participated in it. That is precisely why he speaks less about his mother and more about his father,
father. Yes.
and how the father's side
Hmm.
actually are descendants of one of the let's say the generals in the INA who then betrayed Netaji,
Hmm.
participated in a commission effectively to prove the so-called crash. Some of them may have gone to the Pakistan side, okay, which is
Wow,
why that entire history is brushed under the carpet. Okay,
that is phenomenal. This is a scoop.
I wanted to add a line in the second book that Amir
Hmm.
Khan is the descendant of the first Wahhabi independent education minister, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad.
Yes.
I didn't include it only for the reason. Why do you think his second son is called Azad?
Correct.
I didn't include it because there
And I
might be a
think
coup.
there's also some murky connections of Saif Ali Khan on his maternal, as in his father's maternal side also.
You should look up the antecedents of Nasiruddin Shah.
Yes,
Okay, Javed Akhtar, this
Saif
Amir
Ali
Ali Khan,
Khan.
Saif Ali Khan, and all these people, and Shah Rukh Khan, and then you'll ask yourself, okay, why do they give the impression that they're all as if they're strugglers who've made it big and all of this? No, you're not.
You're
You
not.
were properly supported by the Congress establishment when you entered this particular industry. I would believe that you had the support of this establishment in all your struggling years. Okay, it's surprising. You should watch his interview with Simi Garewal. Okay, and subsequent
One of
interviews.
the early
In all these interviews, he only speaks of his father as the failed, handsome businessman who was a romantic, so on and so forth. But the mother almost finds never any mention. Okay, why is that? Isn't that mysterious? So
interesting.
when you ask, okay, this is his this is her let's say her role in the emergency drive and the sterilization drive, then there's a very clear reason as to why you would want to suppress that aspect of your family history.
Correct. Very true.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.